Hidden in the thick skin of ancient giants, this parasite lived by attaching itself to dinosaurs. It fed slowly over time, a silent, persistent presence in the prehistoric world. Fossil evidence preserved in amber shows that these ants were already highly specialized. With mouthparts designed to pierce tough reptilian hide and remain anchored while the host moved. Some were found alongside feather fragments, suggesting they targeted feathered dinosaurs. Staying protected within dense plumage, the tick remained unnoticed as the animal walked, fed, or rested. Expanding as it consumed blood, this quiet interaction likely carried consequences beyond mere irritation. These parasites may have transmitted pathogens across entire populations of ancient creatures. In a world dominated by massive creatures, survival for something this small depended on precision and persistence. Dinosaurs may have groomed more frequently or relied on environmental interactions like dust or water to dislodge them. The relationship was not dramatic, but constant, creating a silent pressure that followed the host through its entire life. Their existence reveals that even the largest animals were never fully in control of their own bodies. In the fossil record, a tiny tick trapped in amber becomes a rare and direct glimpse into this hidden struggle, preserving a moment that would otherwise disappear completely. Giant Mesozoic flea. Moving through nests and burrows, this oversized flea targeted early mammals and possibly small feathered dinosaurs, using its long, serrated mouthparts to pierce skin and draw blood. Unlike modern fleas that jump quickly between hosts, this ancient version appears to have relied more on crawling, navigating through fur or feathers until it found a stable feeding point. Fossils show a flattened body and strong claws, built to hold firmly while the host struggled. In environments where animals gathered in groups, it could move from one body to another, spreading quietly through entire colonies. Its size alone make it difficult to ignore, yet once attached, removing it would not have been simple. The presence of such a parasite likely added constant discomfort to already vulnerable creatures. Small mammals trying to survive among predators also had to deal with blood loss and irritation that weakened them over time.
Unlike modern parasites that are often barely noticeable, this flea represented a more visible and physical burden.
Dinosaur feather louse. Dinosaur feather louse.
Living deep within layers of primitive feathers, this parasite depended on constant contact with its host. Its body was adapted to cling tightly with specialized legs that locked around feather shafts, allowing it to remain in place even as the dinosaur moved or shook. Unlike larger parasites, it stayed almost completely hidden, moving silently between feathers where light barely reached. Fossilized feathers with damage patterns suggest long-term infestations, where the structure of the plumage itself became worn over time. In animals that relied on feathers for insulation or display, this kind of damage could carry real consequences. As these lice multiplied, they likely spread through direct contact, especially during nesting or social behavior. Close proximity made transmission easy, turning a single host into the center of a wider infestation. Over time, this constant presence created a low-level but persistent strain, one that never fully disappeared. Prehistoric zombie fungus. In humid forests long before modern ecosystems formed, this fungus infected insects and gradually took control of their behavior. After entering the body, It spread internally, feeding on tissues while keeping the host alive just long enough to serve its purpose. At a certain point, the infected insect would abandon its normal patterns and climb vegetation, stopping in a fixed position. There, it would remain motionless as the fungus completed its growth. A structure would then emerge from the body, releasing spores into the air and allowing the cycle to continue. Fossils preserved in amber show insects locked in these final moments, capturing a process that still exists today in different forms. The fungus did not just consume its host. It altered its actions to improve its own chances of spreading. Even in ancient ecosystems, this kind of biological manipulation was already in place, showing that complex survival strategies have deep evolutionary roots.
Ancient tongueworm.
Inside the respiratory systems of early reptiles, this parasite settled in areas where air and tissue met, anchoring itself along internal surfaces. Despite its name, it was not a true worm, but part of a unique group that evolved to live almost entirely within a host. Its body was elongated and segmented, allowing it to remain flexible while attached. From this position, it fed on fluids and cells, staying hidden in passages that were difficult to reach or clear. Fossil records and modern relatives suggest that infections could persist for long periods, often without immediate signs. The host continued to breathe and move, carrying the parasite through its daily life without awareness. As the parasite developed, it released eggs that exited through respiratory or digestive pathways, spreading into the environment. New hosts became infected by ingesting these microscopic stages, continuing a cycle that linked land, water, and living tissue. This indirect transmission made control nearly impossible, especially in ecosystems with dense populations.
Parasitic marine isopod.
In shallow prehistoric seas, this crustacean attached itself to fish, locking onto gills, skin, or even inside the mouth where water constantly flowed. Its body was flattened and armored, allowing it to stay pressed against the host while resisting currents. Once in place, it fed steadily, drawing blood or consuming tissue while the fish continued to swim. Some species replaced entire organs like the tongue, taking over its position and function without immediately killing the host. This created a strange balance where the parasite depended on keeping the animal alive, even as it drained its resources. As it grew, the burden on the host became harder to ignore. Feeding efficiency dropped, movement slowed, and vulnerability increased, especially in open water where any weakness could be exploited. These parasites likely spread during close contact or shared habitats, moving between hosts with surprising efficiency. Their presence shows that even in ancient oceans, control over another organism could take on extreme forms.
Prehistoric tapeworm.
Deep inside the digestive tract of ancient vertebrates, this parasite lived attached to the intestinal walls, absorbing nutrients directly from partially digested food. Its body was long and segmented, with each section capable of producing eggs, allowing it to reproduce continuously without leaving the host. Instead of hunting or searching for food, it relied entirely on what the host consumed, taking a share of energy that was never meant for it. Fossil evidence from coprolites suggests that these parasites were already widespread, moving through food chains as animals consumed contaminated water or prey. Once established, they could remain for extended periods, growing quietly without immediate detection. As the parasite expanded, it created a gradual drain on the host's condition. Energy loss, reduced growth, and internal discomfort became part of a long-term imbalance that rarely resolved on its own. The life cycle depended on transmission through the environment, often requiring intermediate hosts before returning to a larger animal. It reflects a strategy built on invisibility and efficiency, where survival depended on staying hidden while taking as much as possible over time.
If you made it this far, you already know what to do.